Welcome to Loleventvods. These are the best highlights of today's LEC 2025 matchup.
Yeah, a lot of pressures on K-Corp to make sure this early game goes as planned, to make sure...
Bot side of the map, but it's Skirmishes that arrives in lane first. There is no vision here. The Fog of War working in G2's favor. And here comes the flank.
Skips his camps to get down to the bot side in time. Level 3 hit. Flash forward from Loleventvods. Kalista's going to flash away, but doesn't have the cleanse. He's locked up. The shield's coming out from Targamas alongside that heal of enough to get him to safety. Now, G2 burnt 2 of their flashes, and Yike's on his way. Lands the stun. Skirmishes dashes back in. Yike almost stunned with those concussive blows. In the end, was not there anymore, so back off. But because of that, G2 get the pressure on the Dragon.
Vision on Dragon though, Reese so KC will know, can immediately start to move up towards those void groups. Broken Blade did use his ult on the wave, so won't be able to just walk in and ult one of them quite yet, which is at least a little bit of a help. But I think, yeah, it's just going to be trying to trade on the map here for KC as they start to shift Kalista and Targamas back to the bottom side.
Pings as well coming down onto the red buff as Skirmishes recognizes that he's still got to kill this dragon. The red buff is respawning, and Yike is definitely pathing towards the top side of the map. So Broken Blade gonna have to have that awareness and recognize that that top jungle is not safe.
I will say though, the back timer for Kalista and Targamas there wasn't great, because you can see Hansam and Labrov got to crash a pretty sizable wave and now open up a nice CS lead for themselves on that bottom side. So at least for G2, Hansam is starting to open up that lead against the Draven, but again, you kind of need to kill Draven to really put him out of the game. So I think that's going to be the, hey, I want to try and make a play towards top, or if it's try and get some vision down so then we can actually make a play bot and keep kind of safe, because G2 have the push here, and Yike is also pathing down towards bot. That's a lot of damage to Targamas though, so might have to call off any sort of play.
Is it just a cover?
I mean, this looks like a play to me.
But they know that nobody's on mid. Look at the pings from G2.
Oh, good interrupt there. The Unbreakable coming out from Labrov. He is going to die. First blood to Kalist. But Labrov definitely saved his AD carry there, eating up the...
Call it. Kind of sticking around with that ultimate. And as the Sion, you're kind of okay to say, hey, look, I'm not going to be down here for this bottom side. Sure, you might give some gold across the Shogat, but a bit of extra gold doesn't mean too much into a tank Shogat. It's more about securing all 6 grubs for yourselves, and now you can also ult into that bottom wave if you need to try and catch up as well.
I think for
Like
G2,
Caps, I do believe.
Crucially though, Vladdy tried to make a play on boss, had to ult then into the mid to collect that wave. So G2 now know that that ultimate is no longer available, which is why I think they're feeling a little bit more confident. They do have this ultimate from Broken Blade to secure dragons, so they're perfectly fine to match the play on top and still have essentially a smite for this objective.
Yeah, Vladdy just TP'd down towards the bot lane Triber to try and get him in time, but as you say, the beast comes out. Now Skirmishes chasing on Takano, who has to flash across the crystallized wall. G2 will be able to secure
on Yike, and when playing Anivia, you want opponents to walk into you. You want them to come into the areas that you control as Brom in danger.
Spectral Maw coming out for the CC. Crystallized, Labrov can jump over that wall. You can see the CC from KC if they do
play out of that position once it happens, and Broken Blade now.
Is it enough? It's enough! Just gobbles him up! Nom 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 nom.
An easy kill for Broken Blades. I mean, he really did make that look so easy. But
he's got no mana. It would be difficult for him to fight against Yike. Skirmishes is hovering him. Yike is here. Oh, the dodge on the Spectral Maw. Basically blind as Yike comes across and has to Heartbreaker. Skirmishes isn't going to chase any further. He'd already have the flash.
Yeah, he'd already used the Audacious Charge as well to try and get in there, so doesn't want to overextend, especially when there are. It kind of gets a little wonky on the play.
It looks like it's just going to be a trade.
Yeah, it is going to be a trade.
So nothing too crazy, and I think G2's happier about this just because they'll get the top tier 1 as well. Against this Anivia, it's too difficult to siege, especially with Labrov, who was hovering on the bot lane as well. Overall advantage gain, and now they can use this Herald to finish off that tier 1 in the mid lane, already opening up the map for themselves. Another Om Nom Nom comes through for
Beast ready. They basically have a 3,000 damage smite right now.
Labrov gonna
Probably
get
less
healed
than that,
up.
like 2.5k, but still.
The Shred is still going to offer a lot of value. Yike comes in, here comes the TP as well.
Yike trying to step forward. Broken Blade acting as that bodyguard. Can't quite land the knockup. Vladdy's coming in from the bottom side. They dive onto Kano and Yike. Broken Blade flashes, and Yike gets gobbled up. The Realm Warp in as well. I don't think Vladdy wanted to take that. That's a one-way ticket to nowhere. Kana, the next target for G2. The encore comes over 3, but Targamas now on the retreat, has to flash the wall, and Skirmishes, wind becomes lightning, and Targamas becomes fertilizer. Kalist now with a flash and a barrier. Gets over to the right side of the wall. Cab still looking for more. There is another. Caps' passive has not even been procced this game. G2 with an ace at 22 minutes.
G2 just immediately turn onto the KC tanks. It was such a spread out fight, and G2 recognize it. Brilliant turn, and the Adakan to boot now.
Broken Blade is the only boss that you need to find a way.
Really cool. Scan that or look up LEC under updates in WhatsApp if you want to join the conversation. As G2 currently aren't really letting Karmine Corp join the conversation at all.
No,
A
they're not.
4,000 gold lead. It will be another Drake to them. Delayed by 1 if they were looking for a fast soul. They're only on soul point now as Karmine Corp were able to take the Dragon earlier on while G2 took the Rift out.
And it becomes a question. This Rise can use the ultimate. Kalis now, he doesn't have flash.
Does not have flash, and that's a flash frost to the face. It's or frostbite, I believe, as G2 now pushing through mid.
And like, I think that this is actually something that Jojo Pyun talked about after Caps spread out this Anivia, is that like, this is not a champion you see particularly often. So oftentimes you haven't played against it in competitive, you haven't played against it in scrims, so you're just not really sure what exactly you're supposed to do against a champion like this. And unfortunately, KC feel a bit lost.
A major issue as well for KC is as soon as Kalist is dead, where's your consistent DPS on a Cho'Gath? Even with Kalist alive, it's still going to be tricky, but at least he can chuck some axes into that massive gentleman. Right now, G2 just pushed through
The
mid.
thing about Anivia in the late game is the wall, because you don't put any, well, you put maybe 1 point in it early, but in the late game, when you put more points into it, the sides of the wall, it can cover so much space, and it can trap people off. Kana, he's trying to escape, but there's the wall.
The Crystallize Encore is going to hit onto 3, but they don't really have the follow-up as of yet. Kana's still on that front line, but the dive onto the back. Kalist locked up, G2 find another. They're going to try and warp out, but the Crystallize into the knock-up.
Triple?
It's a triple for BB. A quadra for BB. Get back here, Yike! Get back here!
He's appearing!
It's a Michelin star meal, Broken Blade. No! No!
You know?
It was raw and wriggling and ready to be eaten up, Broken Blade. But instead, the Nexus G2's target, a spot in the grand finals, G2's target. And Karmine Corp could not stand up to the power of the Gentleman Cho. 11-1, 26 minutes in. Karmine Corp locked in their fountain. They're not climbing that blue wall as G2 go to the finals.